This one tonight, so for Rob Shepard out there and Ashby, I'm going to use this video because this is kind of fun. So if you guys watch this clip this is on Instagram. Whoop. Now the funny thing about this, and I don't have the audio. This is just a loop. But the funny thing about this loop is that every time he hits the save, it sounds like a droplet of water it's really cool. So, oops, I went too far. Um, so, but one of the things that I don't allow my goalies to use the excuse that their stick is the problem. However, got a great message today from Jonathan Redfern talking about, he works with like 12 goalies in his program. And there are some kids that come and they've been given, like a club goalie stick that the team bought. As Jonathan said, they bought it from Dick's Sporting Goods, and it got strung in China, and it comes over on a boat, and it goes through all these weather changes, and then the stick, all the strings in the stick have a memory in them, and it's really hard to put a pocket in, and the pocket's real shallow. And the only way for a goalie to really catch a ball with a stick like that is to basically to kind of turn it sideways, which is not. We don't want to be. It's like learning how to play golf with bad clubs. All right, golf is hard enough as it is. Um, Playing it with bad clubs, not fun. So, uh, but but a couple things can happen, and this in this particular save, this is what happens to Ashby. So, one of the tips uh, that that you can give your goalies now, if you guys can see this, if you can blow this up on your screen, maybe I can too. Hold on, let me see if I can do this. Add source, boink. Hold on, let me see if I can blow this up because this is kind of fun. If you watch the head of this stick, I'll put it right here. If you watch the shape of the head of the stick, watch this. This is really cool. So I'm not a fan of eclipses anymore. I don't know. I think that's what Ashby's using here, but I'm not sure. But I'm not a fan of the eclipse. I think it no longer suits the pace of the game, the velocity of the game, the velocity shots. If you watch the head of the stick, so this ball hits basically the sweet spot in this pocket. It's right there. All right. But if you watch the top of the head move, you see that stick. Sorry guys. You see that, like, see it flex and move and warp. This is just a normal everyday shot. Now the problem is that this hits the pocket right in the bottom and basically acts like you're throwing it. And so this ball comes like flying right up out of the top of the stick, partly because of the flex of the head. Okay. And this is really important to understand is that it's almost like, Ashby got his hands to the ball, did the right job, but the flex of the head has basically thrown this ball out of the pocket. Okay. And that's not cool. This is one of my frustrations with the sport of field lacrosse is that oops, sorry, I didn't change the banner there. Um this is one of my problems with the state of field lacrosse is that we feel like we've got all this tech and we're doing a great job of stuff, and then we realize that our equipment's shitty. And String King has made us, and again, I don't get paid for any of this. String King has made like a phenomenally good stiff light head that it's the stiffest on the market, and that is important because this is another problem caused by a head that is too soft. But the one little tip you can give your goalie is to punch the mesh forward. Okay. It's a very small little thing, but basically your goalie will, as a way to kind of reset between shots, is they'll punch they'll take their bottom hand off the stick, punch the mesh so that it's basically inverted. Okay. It's basically inverted. It would look like they're holding their stick backwards, but they're not. But that can help slightly with something like this. All right. It can help slightly with something like this. Um, and this is a place where, I know like Ashby strings sticks. He knows what he's doing. He's got a good pocket in there. But even with a good pocket, it's good. It's a good. It's failing him, and so part of it is that the pocket was deep, like it's normal, um, but it's like concave when it the ball comes. That coupled with the flex in the head, um, basically, because this ball is going in. This ball might have hit Ashby on the shoulder, but for the most part, I think this ball was going in the cage just above his shoulder. He gets his hands there, right? And then don't like that stiff lower arm, but whatever. Um, and then up it goes, right? So up it goes. This is something where we need to we need to understand why this stick kind of failed Ashby on this case. Now, I think he probably came down with a rebound, but this is a rebound that an attackman sitting on the crease, like at the D1 level, would get and put in the cage before Ashby could even recover. All right. And Ashby's a really good goalie. Okay. So I want you guys to consider that and understand that one, your goalies, if you don't have a good pocket in your goalie stick, there's no excuse for that anymore. Okay. Send it to Ashby. Okay. Ashby string sticks. Um, find him on Instagram. I don't know where, if I know where Ashby is on Instagram now. But the idea, I'll make a plug for Ashby Shepard and see if we can find it. Ashby Shep, ASHBY Shep at, yep, yeah, whoops, Ashby. Here you go. Coming to you. We'll just do this. For those of you guys want to see it, this is Ashby, and I just followed you back, Ashby. So there you go. Contact Ashby. Get your stick strung. Okay. Jonathan Redfern out in Ohio. Great resource. Okay. Couple ones that I'm a fan of. Redbeard Lax. Big fan. Mr. Wonderful as well. Mr. Wonderful is also great, but I know Mr. Wonderful is like super busy, and Ashby is like funding his college dream, and his dad Rob would probably appreciate you sending money to his son, so he doesn't have to pay as much for college, and bad goalie clinics. But oh wait, did I say that? Sorry. Anyway, so that's that. So yeah, reach out to Ashby here, and he's not. This must be a new account. No, he's just super stealthy. He doesn't like to post, but he should. NIL, man. Name, image, and likeness. Get on it. All right. So I digress. But listen, get a good pocket in your goalie stick. Punch it forward. So it's basically convex when they take a shot. All right, boys and girls. All right. And then finally, get a stiff head. I don't care if your goalie loves the Eclipse or they're a big Nemi fan. That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. Tiger Woods doesn't go, "Hey, I really like the Nike putter." No, he made like a replica of the Scotty Cameron putter. There's nothing else for him, right? So there's performance. It's all about performance, and it's not about like what you like. Okay. And so that's why I'm a big fan of the String King heads now, because they're so damn stiff, and that would help this here. Okay. And then outside of that, then your goalie starts to learn how to have good hands. Someone could look at Ashby in this particular save and go, "Man, you're super tight, and your arms are stiff, and this." But when that ball is like rifled at your head from 10 yards or 8 yards, part of it is the not the nuts save. It's self preservation, and I get it. I get it. So like, I'm not gonna, if I'm a coach on the sideline, I'm not looking at Ashby here going like, "Oh, the can't handle a rebound." No, I'm going like, okay, let's talk about this. But he made a really good save here. Um, there are some, inexperienced coaches out there that might say that, and they should be fired. But those are really critical things that you need to understand with your goalie, so that they aren't learning bad habits playing with a bad stick, right? Because this can be really frustrating. So, and again, for those of you guys that do video of your goalies and you can have good quality and you can slow it down, you can go back and you can see the flex on this head and go, dang. Because if this same shot hit the top of Ashby's stick, I would say if it hit the top of the above any of those top two shooting strings, it would probably gone right through the head. The head would have flexed. The ball would still gone in the cage, and we saw that happen a lot last year. So, so keep that in mind. That can happen for the girls too. Okay, at higher levels, not necessarily high school, but college for sure. So keep that in mind. All right. All right. One last question that just came in here on YouTube. All right. Flynn Scheib writes, what are some tips to help a goalie improve their confidence in their abilities? Oh, and Atlas too. Atlas, buddy, I'll get to you in a second. What are some tips to help a goalie improve their confidence in their abilities? Flynn, it's not confidence, it's courage. Okay. So your abilities are what they are. All right. They are what they are. And and you if you've had past successful experiences in the cage, right? That's what you build confidence off of, right? Is so confidence comes from success in past experiences. That's why, like, if I take you and I put you on like the best team in the country and you just get your ass kicked, you're gonna be like, "Oh, dude, I suck," right? Um, but the point is that as you learn to play, you have to look at those experiences and you have to go like, "Okay, I can make a save." Like when I trained for the Olympics, and between my teammates and I, there was four of us. We had this belief that between the four of us, one of us knew how to do every part of what we needed to do. So we kind of worked as a team, right? And we realized, like, okay, within us, we could all understand how to do these things and we're going to succeed. And we did. We all went to the Olympics. Now, when you're a goalie, you feel kind of lonely. And so what you have to do there is you have to look back on video and it's important to create what I call hype tape. So you've got video of past games, practices where you've made saves, and you've got like basically a hype tape of you making saves. And you're like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. Now, if you pull some like crazy, weird head trash stuff where you're like, yeah, I know, but no, no buts. You either can make a save or you can't. Now, for the saves that you haven't made yet, like let's say you're going up against a team. Like I had a goalie last summer. We're doing goalie audits for him. And each week, goalie's doing great. And then all of a sudden, they play this team one week, and it's got this one dude that probably had like a full beard at 13 years old. And this kid could rifle the ball like a Division 1 player. And this goalie had never seen that before. And it was like, whoa, and you get to this point where the shot goes off the stick and you feel or like you smell smoke because the ball is like spinning off the plastic of your stick and you're like, whoa, that'll happen to you someday. Right. To make those saves though, it's about courage. It's not about confidence because people say this all the time, like, "Oh, I wish my kid had more confidence." No, you wish your kid had more courage because it takes courage to get to the next level. Confidence is just like, "Hey, I can make that level, but now I need to make it at a new level." Well, that's all about courage. So if you change that like message in your mind, Flynn, that will probably help you. Okay, because you are going to go up against things where the ball's coming from too fast, from too hard, from too close, and you're like, "I hope this thing doesn't hit me because I may never have kids." Um, and which is true. But anyway, that takes courage. And how do you improve courage? Well, one, you get physically better. Like physically, you improve yourself physically, right? You get stronger, you get more explosive, you get things like that. That's one. You protect yourself. You don't fall for the BS when people say, like, oh, Flynn, you shouldn't wear pads. Like, why are you wearing pads? You're such a softie. Like, come on. And that's not the word they use. We all know that. But the idea is that you've got to protect yourself because it's like artificial courage, right? It's what they say, like when you like, when I was young and you're kind of shy and you don't want to go say hi to that girl in the corner. They're like have a drink, and then now you get like liquid courage, right? And you're like, hey, how's it going? She's like, I don't want to ever talk to you again. That was weird. And you're like, oh, that didn't work. But it's called liquid courage. So in lacrosse, we call it like it's plastic courage, right? Pad up, man. Put on a cup that protects like everything. Wear shin guards, wear baseball shin guards, wear football pants. All right. Protect your arms, protect your shoulders, get in the cage, feel like a Ninja Turtle. I don't care, right? Because that's going to give you courage. And what's going to happen is that you're going to come out of that practice and be like, oh my God, that was amazing, right? All because you had plastic courage to replace the courage that you're trying to. Because listen, if I put you out in the middle of the street and said, all right, Flynn, you got to have courage to stand in that car as it's coming at you. Now, at some point, you're going to run out of the way because that's just dumb. Okay. But the same thing happens true to a goalie, right? If you get in the cage and you're like, and your brain's going like, Flynn, what the hell are you doing? If I get hit in the balls with that thing, it's going to hurt, right? Well, that's not, no amount of courage is going to overcome that. That's really important to understand. And so for the parents listening to me and for the coaches listening to me, it's not about confidence. It's about courage, right? So put your goalie in courageous, like build up their courage and get them out there. But courage is also like willpower. It's like a gas tank. It goes away. right? It's like you wake up in the morning and think like, oh, I'm gonna eat clean today, no soda, no chips, no nothing. Great. And then you come home at 6:30 and you're exhausted and you're like, where's the Doritos? Right? It's willpower, right? Courage is the same thing. You get in front of a ball, you get hit once, you're like, okay, once is okay. Twice, oh Jesus, don't want to do that again. Okay, I'm gonna get back in the cage. Courage, courage. Coach Edwards said courage, courage. Here I am. And then you get the next ball like off the inside, like the fleshy part of your calf, when it's not flex and then it's like floppy and the ball hits it and you get like this bruise that's like the size of a freaking, it's like the state of Texas. It looks like Ukraine, but vertically. Okay. No, no, we can wear out courage. Coaches who rely on courage too much are idiots. Okay. So, but you got to understand that. Okay. Um, um, So, Mike, what are you? Nothing is more productive than a goalie that understands that she can learn and faces next level shooters. That's a mental game. It's tough to accomplish, though. It's true, but like I said, um, courage takes so Flynn, courage will get you to the next level, right? But if it's like 3 levels, that takes a lot of courage, and that can wear you out soon, like quickly. So keep that in mind. But that's a great question, Flynn. All right. Hey, listen, if you go to athletespecific.com. I believe I've got a free resource base that goes a little bit deeper on that if you want to see that. Okay. But that was a good one. Okay. Last question. Atlas. Atlas, I'm sorry to take that Flynn's question before you, but I hope this makes sense. Do you have any tips on training yourself to step to the ball? Hell yeah. One, make sure you go to lacrossegoaluniversity.com, sign up for our newsletter. Okay. Just get any freebie off that website. Get the lacrosse goalie cheat sheets, and that'll put you on our newsletter and stuff like that. On training yourself to step to the ball, here's the deal. You can't do anything quickly that you haven't mastered slowly. Okay. What happens to a lot of goalies, and this goes back to kind of Flynn's question there. So Atlas, if you go to if you go to athletespecific.com as well and sign up for those freebies, I've got some videos over there as well that kind of go into detail on this. But here's the deal. If you get in the cage and your brain is so overwhelmed, like that you're like kind of freaking out, you're not learning. Right. And so when that happens, what happens to that is that when you're in that stage, like it's called fight or flight, um, the idea is that you're not learning. So if the house is on fire or there's a guy in your house with a gun, you're not like noticing the color of the paint on the walls, right? If a police officer is like, well, what did you notice about no, you're not noticing anything. You're just like, I had to get the hell out of there. Unfortunately, a lot of coaches put goalies in situations like that where there's too much going on. So stepping to the ball is like not a thing. And the idea is you need to be in a position where you feel good about what you're doing. Okay. And so when you feel good about what you're doing, the best place to do that is actually away from lacrosse balls, like at home in your room, right? You put some AirPods in, get some cool, like mellow Spotify music going in the back of your head, and just see a shot coming at you in slow motion, and then see yourself moving as you'd like to move in front of that ball. Okay. And so what you're going to do is you're basically creating a picture in your mind where your brain is actually in a state where it's kind of mellow. And when your brain is mellow, this is why, like, when you fall asleep at night, like the last thing you fall asleep that's going through your head, your brain basically replays like 7 times, up to 7 times as you sleep. Right. So, like, Einstein very famously said, like, don't go to sleep without giving your subconscious something to work on. Right. So, as you're dozing off to sleep, if you want to do it that way, don't be scrolling through TikTok. Right. Don't be on some crazy, like, Snapchat thread or whatever. Don't be like, watching like Telegram videos coming out of Russia of war, like none of that. put in some mellow music and see yourself moving as you'd like to move to the ball. Because what you're doing is you're basically wiring your brain. Like I call this the wiring of the goalie, right? So you're seeing the ball, your your brain is going like, okay, this is what there's the ball coming, and then this is how I'm going to move, right? Now, so one of the things, Atlas, just so we're talking the right stuff, if you go to lacrossegoalieuniversity.com or go to my YouTube channel, if you search for um, uh, why stepping to the ball is wrong and why stepping to the ball is still wrong. Watch those two videos just so we're talking the same stuff here in terms of technique, right? But as far as wiring that technique in, you want to one take that time, and like I said, when you go to bed at night, it's kind of cool. If you go to athletespecific.com and download my perfect day formula free PDF thing that I put out there, that'll help you too. But the idea then is that you're giving yourself that your brain's like, oh, there's the ball, and then the body's going like, okay, I'm going to move like this. Okay, now you don't even have to move, but the idea is that we're just wiring the brain and the body. Now, when you go to practice, don't just hop in the cage and expect it to work. Before practice, put your stick away, right? Stretch a little bit, get ready, but then visualize getting shot on. But again, no ball, and see your and now you can move actually, and you can add that step, right? And the adjustment step and things like that. And you want to do that a lot. You can do that. You can basically do a warm up before you get shot on, right? With no ball, brain is in a good uh good state, and you're prone to learning there. Okay, that's super good. Okay, so then when you get in the cage, now what's going to happen is that you should have lots of repetitions of you moving properly, so that now when coach or whoever shoots the ball down there, you're all of a sudden going to move like you want to do. But probably what's going to happen, Atlas, is you're not going to move like you want to move yet, because your brain is going to default to all the crappy steps you've been doing in the past. Okay, so that's where you want to make sure that you're still feeling safe in the cage. You're not overwhelmed by the coach, like you might hit you, that sort of thought, because the brain is just going to default. We don't want to default. We want to wire, right? And so it's better to do things a lot slower and more repetitively in practice, so that you're doing things properly, so that when you ramp up the pressure, your brain defaults to now that default move, which is right, not the default move that's been wrong. Is that okay? So that's really, really important. Okay, so Atlas, I hope that helps you, buddy. Okay. Oh my god, I got new comments here. What's going on? Mike writes, allow the quiet eye and the quiet mind to react to the shooter stick and shot and make the save. That's true, as long as you can be quiet, as long as you can be mellow. I found that it's best to be in the right position to face the ball and react to it than to artificially force a guy to tell them to step to the ball and have them stepped in correctly. Um, Atlas, good stuff, buddy. All right, that helps a lot. Thank you. Cool. Yeah, Atlas, be brain state is a big deal. Mike writes, I found that it's best to be in the right position to face the ball and react to it than to artificially force a guy to tell him to step to the ball and have them stepped in. Yeah, that's a good point too. So wait, where'd your comment go, Mike? Okay, Alice. This let's cover this, okay? Um, so Mike, that's a very good point. So I believe, and Atlas, this is for you, and this is for everybody else listening. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Like, I believe that if you take the goalie stick away from a kid and you just put them in the cage, they will naturally react and move in front of a ball. Okay, there's just they're just it's normal. It's just innate. It's like whatever. And if you put them in front of like mom's TV, same thing. They're gonna move naturally. It's when we get all like weird. And I swear lacrosse is like the worst for that. It's like everybody's like, oh, you should step in a certain way. No, it's bullshit. Let's just move, save stuff, and don't be pretty about it, and you'll make good things. So Atlas, for you may be falling into that too. Like if you're worried about like there's like this good way, proper way, whatever, you're overthinking it. Okay, so just take the time to see yourself as you'd like to move in certain situations, and then once you get out there, especially on game day, just play. Don't be thinking too much. Right? That's another big mistake a lot of people make, especially the girls. I'll be honest. A lot of the girls they're trying to be too pretty, too perfect, and trying to look right. And then it's like, it's super. Everything's super stiff. Just react, relax, and react, and things will be good. Right. All right, everybody. That was good stuff. Oh man, I didn't take the banner down, but anyway, that was good. So we got some extra questions in tonight. So I hope that helps everybody. If you liked what I covered tonight, do me a huge favor, hit the like button, hit the heart, hit the little Care Bear huggy thing. If you want to hit the wow, that's kind of, I know that's a little bit much, but whatever. Just give us some love so we get some good traction. But thanks to everybody. Hopefully this next week I'll have some more information on camps and clinics and things like that. But we'll see. I definitely would love to get a good one done this summer. Maybe two, maybe West Coast. And Mike, I know you emailed me about that too, so I haven't forgotten that. Okay, I've had some good emails from people on the West Coast, and I would like to make that happen. Okay, but thanks for all the input tonight, Mike Porach, Alex Fagoyer, as always, Carrie Ann. All good stuff. Really appreciate that. And for those of you guys on YouTube, Atlas and who else? Who else was there? Atlas and Flynn and maybe another one. That was just you two guys. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week. Bye. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and thanks for listening wherever you are. Do me a favor, hit the like button if you like this, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. When you're ready, head on over to lacrossegoalieuniversity.com/coaching so I can work with you and your goalie. And while you're at it, check out athletespecific.com to learn more about mental performance and high performance. You may not know this, but I work with athletes in a variety of sports. Lacrosse is my love, but man, I love athletes and the families who support them. So head on over to athletespecific.com and check it out. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.